Today we are going to start with a new chapter, chapter 8, that is the cell, the unit of life. Now you all are very well aware of cell. In your lower classes you have already studied many things about cell. So if anybody asks you what is a cell, then you know its definition, that it is the structural and functional unit of life. Now why is it called structural unit? Because the body of any organism, a plant, microorganism or an animal, is made up of cell. Just like the bricks together form wall, like that the cells together come together and form tissues. Tissues form various organs, then organs form organ system, and you know that different organ systems constitute an organism. It's called functional unit because all the basic functions that takes place within the body actually takes place within the cells. So excretion, digestion, all these are either taking place within the cell or are taking place because of the help of the cells. So that's why the cell is called the functional unit. Now the cell theory was proposed by two scientists, Schleiden and Schwann. Schleiden was a German botanist. He was working on plants and he observed that all plants were composed of cells, and these cells further formed various tissues of the plant. At about the same time, around 1839, Theodor Schwann, he was a British zoologist and he was working on animal tissues, and he found that the animal tissues were made up of cells and the outer covering was very thin, and he named it plasma membrane. He also observed that the plants had cell wall, which was a unique character, and animal cells did not have this cell wall. Later on, Schwann and Schleiden together formulated the cell theory, and they said that all living organisms are composed of cells and products of cells. Now, the cell theory did not explain how the new cells were formed. So, Rudolf Virchow, he expanded the cell theory by saying omnis cellula e cellula, which means all cells arise from pre-existing cells. So, according to Virchow, and what we believe today is that cells arise from older cells. New cells arise from older cells by cell division. If you watch a cell under a compound microscope, then you will observe three things in a cell. The outermost covering. In a plant cell, it can be, you can see cell wall as well as plasma membrane. In case of animal cells, you will observe only plasma membrane. Then in the center, you will have a darkly stained body, which is the nucleus. And between the nucleus and the plasma membrane, a fluid is present, which is called as cytoplasm. So basically, you see these three things under a compound microscope. Now, there can be two types of cells depending on whether it has a well-defined nucleus or not. So, the prokaryotic cells, they do not have well-defined nucleus. They don't possess membrane-bound cell organelles. And the eukaryotic cells, on the other hand, they have a well-defined nucleus with nuclear membrane, and they also have all the membrane-bound cell organelles. So, this is the type of cells on the basis of their structure. Now, on the basis whether an organism has one cell or it is made up of many cells, the organism can be divided into two. Unicellular organisms, all their activities takes place within one cell, and multicellular organisms, they have many cells and they show division of labor, and various activities are carried out in different cells.